How can Donald Trump teach us love? This is not a political message. You have enough of those in your newsfeed right now. I'm not pro-Trump or pro-Hillary or pro-politics even, but what I am is pro-love, pro-connection, pro-expression. And you're experiencing a lot of pain in your newsfeed, aren't you? People that are angry, frustrated, sad, overwhelmed, depressed, and they need to vent that pain. But we all too often as human beings, we associate pain with suffering. And we humans don't know how to deal with suffering, and so we instantly want to get rid of it. And one of the quickest ways is to put it on another human being, to blame them, to shame them. And you see this in your newsfeed, don't you? People that are blaming and shaming the person that voted a separate way, a person that has a different belief system than theirs, a person that didn't vote at all. And that blame and shame is never going to heal a nation, much less any single relationship that you have in your life. But how is it that we can use this political landscape that we're in right now to heal our relationships, to learn something about love? Because I'll tell you something, this is not going to go away in 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years even. It's going to keep going. It's human behavior. And when people surround themselves with other people that are in pain and frustrated and angry, we get group mentality. People that throw racial slurs, people that throw epithets, people that throw insults and remarks and comments that doesn't necessarily heal or strategize any way to actually get to a solution. So this moment right now is about solution. How can we use this moment and realize that life, even this, life is happening for us and not to us? Because this right now is something that is very similar to what Viktor Frankl studied back in when he was in a concentration camp. While he was in the concentration camp, he realized that when somebody is no longer able to change their circumstances, they're able to change one thing: themselves. Is the last of the human freedoms, to be able to choose the emotion that we want to in any particular instance. And so what he realizes there's this gap between stimulus and response, a gap where we get to choose what to think in that moment and decide the future course of our emotion. We don't need to run off into suffering at all times. Pain can be something that elicits beauty. We can take this moment right now and say, okay, I know that people are throwing pain and blame and shame and guilt and all these negative emotions. They might be throwing a racial epithet at me. They might be throwing whatever that thing is. Something that's disempowering. But it's pain. At the very core, it's pain. A person that's in pain throws pain. And rather than experiencing that pain and throwing it again, I'd rather train myself. This is the training ground. This right now is the training ground. I love it when somebody throws rejection and anger in my way, because it's my moment to shine, my moment to test how strong is my love, to experience more self-love, even in that moment. And that's going to be an amazing thing if you train it, not just once, not just 10 times, but 100 times, 1,000 times. Every single time it shows up, ask yourself, how can I love this moment right now? How can I love my hater? How can I appreciate my hater? What do I love about the way they're expressing themselves right now, even if it's in opposition to me? Because if you do that constantly, it's going to be something that you habitualize. Psychology has shown us that the emotions we habitualize, the ones that we do again and again and again, over and over and over, are the ones that we habitualize, and it becomes us. And so love, if you train it again and again and again, it's easy to love when everything's going okay. It's hard to love when everything hits the fan. When the shit hits the fan, that's when you need to practice love. Because there's going to be moments in your relationship, moments when you're at home, when a person that you love immensely is feeling frustrated, angry, overwhelmed, sad, and they might throw blame or whatever that emotion might be because they're in a moment of pain. And instead of saying that they shouldn't be that way and judge them and place all this shame on that human being, I'd rather them vent. I'd rather them vent fully so that they feel again what it means to be human. And then in that presence, as uncertain as they might be in that moment, they realize how certain my love is for them as a human being. And that's the first step. Then we get to appreciation and understanding of that other person's individual perspective and belief system, and realize that if we lived in that person's shoes, as crazy as it may sound, we'd definitely have the same belief system, even if it's in opposition to the one that we're currently in. And so right now, this landscape that we're in, whether it lasts one day or one lifetime, is an opportunity for us to train, so that way we habitualize love and it becomes us. It's no longer something we do, but something we are. And in that moment, when we come back to our relationships, we communicate love, even through the pain. And you have an ability to heal every relationship that way. You have an ability to heal the world that way. I hope you love this. I hope you share this with your friends, so that way they realize love is the answer. Love has always been the answer. And if you're seeing this for the first time, hit like on my page. I'd love to show up in your newsfeed from time to time. I love you, thank you, and don't forget about a thing called love.